All right, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. All right, let's do this. You're listening to Act to Impact with Brandi DeVries. That's me, your host, and today this is a special bonus episode. But before we get into that, a little bit about Act to Impact. This is a show dedicated to fueling the fire within anyone to ignite action and inspire others to make an impact. Through heartfelt stories of hope, resilience, and community, I'm sharing my personal experience as a longtime fundraiser and ambassador for Children's Cancer Research Fund. And Cole today is going to be sharing part of our story as well. We also invite pediatric cancer families to share their stories and highlight individuals who are using their unique gifts to make a positive impact in the world. And I hope that each episode will inspire you to become aware of your untapped gifts and skills that you have inside you, connect them with an organization close to your heart, and lastly, take action to make an impact. So it's time to ignite action. All right, so welcome. I'm Brandi, and today I'm chatting with my husband, Cole. So exciting to have you on. Well, I've been planning this for a while. Actually, when I was first kind of mapping out what episodes I wanted, I knew that there was going to be one where I asked you to come on.
Here I am.
And so that was months and months and months ago. And I even had drafted some of the questions I wanted to ask you and what our topic was going to be and that type of thing. So it's it feels very special that you're here. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So I always start by introducing the guests that I have on Act to Impact and talking about what our connection is, why they're on the podcast. And so I feel like we need to do that as well. I mean, people know, obviously, we know each other because we're married. Mm-hmm. But do you think we should share how we met?
Sure, why not?
Do you want to go? I was really embarrassed for a long time to share our story about how we met.
Yeah.
Wow. And so I don't know if you wanted to share it.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be different than my version. I don't know.
Sure. Well, shouldn't be that much different, but
well, we'll see. You never know. It seems like couples over the years, stories tend to change, and we've been married now for coming up on 9 years, or maybe by the time that this episode airs, 9 years.
Yeah.
So take us back to that day.
Okay. That way, how we originally started chatting, or first
how we
person-to-person interaction?
How we originally started talking.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was on Tinder.
Oh, that's the embarrassing part.
And yeah, we were talking for quite a while on there. I don't remember exact duration of time. Finally, I think I asked if you want to grab drinks or something, and I didn't for the longest time because on your profile you only had face shots on there, and so
they were really good though.
Yeah. I mean, obviously good enough for me to at some point want to ask for you to meet up. But I wasn't sure because of a number of other profiles that I had seen on there if you had a cute face, but then you were the body wasn't going to match the face. So I was rather leery about that, but then I obviously just was like, well, let's see what happens, see how it goes, see where it goes, kind of thing. So yeah, we asked to meet up, and I think we're originally going to go to Tavern on France, and that was busy. And then so we ended up going to Pittsburgh Blue for a drink, and then we just walked around the mall, and then I think we went back over to
Tavern.
Yeah, and then that was kind of first date, I guess.
Our first date.
Yeah.
I remember you calling. I was coming from St. Paul, and I remember you calling me when I was in the car, and you were like, Tavern on France is really busy, so meet me at Pittsburgh Blue instead. And I remember walking in to the mall. I mean, obviously I'm familiar with the Galleria and whatever, but you jumped out.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Of the furniture store and was like, hi, I'm Cole. And it kind of took me off guard. But didn't you say that you were kind of watching for me?
Well, yeah, only because I knew that you weren't there yet, so I was just looking in the furniture store to pass time, and then I saw you walk up, or who I thought was
or who I was meeting.
And so, yeah, I guess there was my pop in.
Yeah, I know. So one question I always get asked about us and how we met, and then once I tell people that we met on Tinder, which like I said, I was so embarrassed about it for the longest time, but now I'm just like, oh, we met the old-fashioned way because that's how it seems like everybody meets in one way or the other. But a question I always would get from people is how does a professional baseball player and a former beauty queen, like, how do they get together and why do they need an app? But you were just kind of coming back into the Twin Cities.
Yeah, baseball was done for me at that point from living like a nomad and being gone anywhere from 6 to 9 months out of the year. I really had kind of lost a lot of my friend circles and kind of acquaintances and all that kind of stuff just because, I mean, who wants to continue to work hard at being a friend of someone who's gone for
Yeah.
half or three-quarters of the year? So that was kind of the big reasons I was on there is just to meet new people and stuff like that. And your story's kind of similar, moving to
Yeah, moving here, not really knowing.
yeah.
And then also like not really looking for somebody on the app. I just got really lucky and found you.
I mean,
Just nice.
I would say it wasn't that much different for me. I was, I guess, open to see where something would go with someone if I had interest, but yeah, it was more just to meet new people and for something to do, go out and grab a drink with someone, midweek or whatever, because I really wasn't doing anything else in my
Yeah,
life at that
yeah.
point.
Well, and then back to the question, when people will ask me that, like, how did we get
Oh,
together?
wow,
Like the
yeah.
baseball player and a beauty queen. But I always say, I'm like,
Well,
it's like we were meant to be because we had like some very similar shared experiences. Like it's worked to our advantage, I feel like, because of our
yeah,
experiences, while on very different scales, but very similar in the sense that we just could relate to us getting out of something that was such an identity for us. Like
mhm,
beauty pageants, I was new out of, it was only like a year or two removed from me not being a title holder. And it was like a year, less than a year from
mhm.
you being removed and not being a baseball player. But I feel like that's something that we really kind of helped each other with.
Yeah, I would agree.
And now we found this wonderful new identity together
Yep,
as Brandi and Cole DeVries.
for sure.
So, yeah, I think it's also really funny that when we first met, you didn't unpack your toiletry bag for like 2 years. I swear, for sure the first year. But why was that so hard for you? Something as simple as unpacking your toiletry bag.
It was just one of those things. I think it was ingrained in me for well, I played pro ball for 7 seasons. And then before that, it wasn't too much different just being in college and being on the road during the college baseball season. And then for 2 summers, my freshman summer, I played in the Northwoods League. And then in my junior year, I played in the Cape Cod Baseball League. So I was always kind of moving around from place to place. It was especially when I was playing pro ball, it was kind of a situation where why would I pack this when I'm going to be repacking it in a month, 2 months, 3 months kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then I never unpacked it during the whole season because we would have maybe a 5, 7, 10 game homestand, and then we'd be back on the road for again 5, 7, 10 days. Yeah, it was just ingrained in me, and I never really even thought about it until maybe you brought it up, or I was still living at home at that point, or at one of those points, and my mom may have brought it up to me also, and it never even occurred to me that for toiletry items, I was living out of a travel
Yeah.
size thing and not just having them on a countertop. 'Cause
Yeah.
I never really, outside of the home I grew up in, I never had a home for my whole adult life.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just what I was used to. But yeah, just something I didn't even think about.
Yeah. So that's our story, the story of Brandi and Cole and how we have now built a home together. Now you have a
Mhm.
home, our beautiful home.
Yep.
So together. And I have always said one of the reasons why I knew that you were the person I wanted to marry is because wherever you were, that's where home was for me. So
there we go.
yeah. I feel like I've told you that before. You just probably don't remember.
I feel like
All right, but today I want to get into the heart of this episode now that you know a little bit more about us as a couple. I want to talk about our support for Children's Cancer Research Fund together as a couple, because you have heard a lot of what I have done with Children's Cancer Research Fund, and I've used myself as an example for other people, how they can make an impact with an organization. But how can couples do that together? I think we are an example of how couples can come together to connect with an organization, to take action, to make an impact. So whether it's in your community or an organization of your choice, I feel like some of the things that we've done and maybe we're going to talk about will help other people too. So I feel like we need to start with our involvement last year with Dream Gala 2024. That was like our big thing as a couple. The first thing we've really did together as a couple. And with Dream 2025 coming up on May 17th in Minneapolis, I thought it would be a good time to talk about that. And this year, we're not serving on the gala committee. We have a lot of other things going on this spring, it seems like. But of course, we'll be attending. And there are some things that I am doing to support Dream 2025. I'm hosting a fashion fundraiser at Ever Eve in a couple of weeks. By the time this podcast comes out, that benefiting event will probably have taken place. But then also going to be doing a Kendra Scott Gives Back event on May 9th at the Mall of America store. So we continue to bring awareness to Children's Cancer Research Fund and continue to support them through raising money as well. So just to go back a little bit, though, I've been involved with Children's Cancer Research Fund since 2016 as a founding board member of Children's Cancer Research Fund or Leadership Council. And Cole wasn't involved in the early stages on that board as I was. And so I want to know, because you've seen me for a number of years, 6, 7, or 8 years prior to our involvement together at Dream 2024. Like, what was the moment for you that made you realize that you wanted to really come alongside me and get more involved with supporting Children's Cancer Research Fund?
I would say it was probably just more of a natural progression that you were drawn to it, and so I kind of on the fringe slowly got pulled in. But I think for me, the part that drew me in more is once we got pregnant and had our son, and just how life changes and your perspective changes on so many things at that point, and just kind of realizing, sympathizing, empathizing with what you were trying to do and what the organization is trying to do. And then if for just the worst case scenario ever, we happen to be in that situation where our son got diagnosed with cancer, I mean, I would obviously, of course, want there to be the best treatment for him, us to do everything we can. And I kind of just saw that coming full circle with hearing things about you and then being to one or two of the galas before we started, or I should say I started getting far more involved. And so that was kind of it, just really becoming a situation that I could see happening. Obviously I don't want it to, but it could happen to us, and how much I would want it to happen. And if it did, I would want all the support, or at least all the things that Children's Cancer Research Fund fights for and the scientists are trying to figure out.
Yeah, that research.
True. Yeah,
yep.
For sure.
We want to support that research so that if a parent is in that case, they know that there is work being done already. Yeah. So what was your first reaction when Sarah with Children's Cancer Research Fund reached out to us and asked us to be the chairs of Dream 2024? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think we're sitting upstairs in our dining room. When you said that they wanted to talk to us, I was like, okay, I don't know why I have to be involved. We'll buy a table. Like you don't have to call us up and ask us or whatever it was. I mean, it just never occurred to me. I guess I always thought that they would have a laundry list of far more high profile people that are cooler, have way more money than us, and this other huge laundry list of things. So I just never even equated it.
Yeah, I was totally blindsided when
Yeah.
I just thought she wanted to talk to us about like a live auction item, or maybe
Yeah.
both of us being on the committee and just formally asking us. So yeah, when that ask came to be the chairs,
Mhm.
I think my like jaw hit the table.
Well, yeah, and I think I literally said, "Don't you have anyone cooler than us to ask her or
Yeah.
something so
Yeah.
or more important than
Yes.
us?"
But we had so much fun. We did have to take a beat though to stop before we said yes to
Mhm.
chairing it, because we wanted to make sure that we were going to be able to help them hit their goals. They had big goals of like increasing the number by 100 people, and so that they could hit 400 people at the event. And the dollar amount too that they wanted to raise was significantly more, or it felt like at the time, than the year before. And we really just kind of went through and looked at people, like our connections, what we could bring to it, to say like, okay, we are confident that we can help you reach your goals. We wanted to make sure that we were helping them be positioned and that we were the right fit. And I think we were the right fit last year. I think we did a great job.
Yeah.
We raised over $800,000 and there was 400 people there. And now this year they're expanding to a bigger venue to accommodate more people. So I was very happy that we like took the time to like say yes and really be intentional and thoughtful about it so that we could help them make that impact.
For sure.
Yeah. But it was fun because we got to go on stage and talk about Children's Cancer Research Fund and what it meant to us and why we were involved. But I remember when we were backstage and Perk was back there, the MC, and I'm just, I don't know, drinking some water, and you were nervous. And I was like, what is going on? You were an MLB starting pitcher. You pitched in front of hundreds of thousands of people and you were nervous for this event. Like, what was up with that?
Well, it wasn't for going on stage. It was more that I'm not the world's best reader, and so they wanted me to read my
The
portion of
teleprompter.
on the teleprompter, and that kind of freaked me out because I do way better at ad libbing, going off the cuff, however you want to call it, classify it.
Yeah.
And so that was more the thing that, and I mean, I don't know, you may perceive me to be more nervous than I
I
was,
totally did.
or than what I felt, I guess. But it was more just my apprehension doing something that I didn't feel very comfortable and confident. I probably would have felt felt a lot different if they would have told me like, "Hey, yeah, go up there," but they wanted me to stay on script. So that's for me where
Mm.
the nerves came in.
Yeah. Well, okay. So maybe reading a teleprompter is not one of your strong suits, but that's okay. We can't be good at everything. That's all right. But I know that you are good at a lot of other things. So then when we were preparing for Dream, was there any like skills or resources that you had to tap into that maybe you hadn't for a while or had tapped into before?
Yeah, I would probably say for me most of it was just, and I didn't really care, and I felt like it was finally time for me to kind of lean on the twins and make some masks for them, because I had felt like for the last number of years, anything that they had asked me to do for an appearance, well, playing for them for 5 years in the minor leagues and literally not making any money, they owed me for that. A little bit of a joke, but a lot of truth. But just kind of stuff like that. And then also, I don't really like to ask friends for things because I don't want to be looked at or viewed at as that friend who's always asking for something.
Mm-hmm.
So that was always something that I kind of, and I'm that way in business too. And so
Yeah.
it was really kind of reaching out to just my friends and asking like, hey, would you donate, or their businesses, or business they work for, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Would you donate? Would you be willing to get a table? Whatever. And so yeah, so that was the thing for me that was a hurdle to try to come over or get over, is that okay, now I actually have to put out some ask
Mm-hmm.
requests.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I feel like for me, one of the skills I tapped into was like leading. Like we were leading a committee, and I liked being able to, I hadn't used some of those leadership skills in a while. And so it was really fun to be able to lead the committee through the process and keep them fired up and motivated to make requests to people as well, or to bring people into the gala. So I feel like that's the area for me where that I that Dream helped bring out in me some untapped skills. All right, so as long as we're talking about skills and character traits and that type of thing, what from your experience as an MLB player and mine as a title holder do you want or do you hope that we pass along to Bane, our son, who's 6 right now? Because I feel like this is giving back and making an impact. It's a generational thing. Like I feel like I have this mindset that I have because my grandmother and my parents supported the community and volunteered in the community, and that's something I'm carrying on. And so I feel that I hope that Bane sees us doing this, and he also wants to give back and to help other people and realize that he can make a difference too someday, and that we're good examples for him even at this young age. So that's mine, what I want. But what do you think? What are some experiences that we have or you've had that you would want to pass on to Bane?
I think I think the biggest one, just as a person, is just to have internal fortitude and just keep on trying and moving forward, trying things even though they may be difficult, or figuring out how to beat them, how to best them. Something that is rather difficult to instill in a 6-year-old at this point. But that kind of mentality, and then I think from a philanthropic side, and kind of where you have gotten me to realize, and maybe I kind of had this opinion for a while, but didn't feel like I was in the position, is that I really think that once, and this is more kind of coming from a monetary side. I feel like once you reach a certain point in your life, and this is a sliding scale for whoever, and pick your own determination of where you're at in the scale. But once you reach a point, I think you should start being philanthropic. And if you have some extra money that isn't needed for retirement, for whatever your family needs, and it's just, hey, whatever money, I think it's good to donate, give back, again, however you want to classify it to it. And it doesn't mean that you have to do it in a monetary sense. You can obviously donate your time, and everyone can do that, or just about everyone can. But I think once you get to a certain financial position, you should take it upon yourself, if you are a person of means, and you should do what you can when you can, whether it's a little bit or a lot, to give back. And so I hope that our son kind of takes what you said, and what I have, and kind of has that internal fortitude, keeps on moving forward. But then also, once he feels like he's in the position, or he feels comfortable in life, that he starts making financial contributions to whatever he thinks is beneficial. And, he can make the decision if he wants to donate his time prior to that,
Mhm.
or not.
Yeah, I agree. That's very good. Thank you. I always ask
Mhm.
every guest on the show is what advice do you have for people on how they can take action to make a lasting impact?
I think it's fairly easy from the side of what do you like? What do you think is a need that you enjoy helping people fill that need with? And whatever that is, start going down that road. If you like animals, donate to clinics, animal shelters, whatever. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
zoos. If you really love your children, or your children are your life kind of thing, figure out how you can help people that aren't in the same position that you are in. I mean, I feel like there's so many other things. Or if you have a business, or an ability in a certain area where, for me, I don't do this, but it's just an example. Well, I coach our son, but you can coach. You don't have to have a kid to coach a little league team. They always need coaches. Do you have a horse farm? Can you have people with disabilities out there to, ride the horses and get that kind of I mean, there's so many things that you may or may not have going in your life, or that you are hobbies of yours that other people would like, but they can't get involved with it. So, I mean, there's so many easy ways, I think, that if you just take a little bit of time to explore, that you can invest yourself in and really help out a lot of people.
Yeah, I think those are really good examples. Well, thanks for being here today, Cole. I appreciate it.
Wasn't too bad.
No, I thought it went pretty well.
Yeah.
So you did a good job, honey.
Thanks.
So maybe I'll have you on again.
No, can't wait.
Okay, I know you're really not on social media, but if somebody does want to find you, how is the best place? Where's the best place for them to reach you? Do you have a website? Do you have
No, well,
you don't really use your Instagram?
business one, but I mean,
Search
no, I
you.
don't know if I posted something on Instagram for almost a year, and I think that's what it is on Instagram. Yeah, I'm
I can
pretty
post
sure.
it in the show notes, or people can always find your Edina Realty website as well.
Just searching on the internet.
And then your email.
Something will come up.
Do you have any baseball related questions for Cole?
Yes, or you want to sell your house.
Or you want to sell your house?
Or you want to buy one.
All right. Well, Cole, thank you so much again.
No problem. Good job.
Thanks. You have been listening to Act to Impact with Brandi and Cole DeVries. And if this show ignited your fire and inspired you to take action to make an impact, please share this episode with a friend, leave a 5-star review, or even write a review so that you let others know about our show and how it impacted you. So I can't wait to see how you are taking action to make an impact. I love for you to share your stories with me on social media. So go ahead and tag me as you're out making an impact in this world. So now go out, ignite that fire within you, take action to make an impact.